I haven't actually shared it on Facebook as well. That might be a good idea to do.
Yeah. I'm just messaging some people.
Mm-hmm. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dawn of Discussion, a very special E3 episode. Here we are.
So some of you probably watch this going, oh, what happened to Star Wars? So we've decided today, because E3 is probably being such a major gaming event, and seeing Tuesdays we seem to be playing games or talking about games, so it kind of made sense that we pause Star Wars at least for today to talk about
Indeed.
E3 and all its glory.
Yeah, because we never really have topics to talk about, and no one's gonna come by on what we're gonna not talk about it. So here we are, and also very very special. In the background, we've also got this E3 stream going from Twitch, in case something interesting happens that we might want to talk about while it's happening live. Of course, this game, I don't know what this is. This might be one of the various JRPGs that no one will ever speak of in 2 days. So we're not going to talk about this particular thing. So let me close that window for now. For now, we'll just talk about anything else related to E3, and then obviously while we're playing, we'll talk about other things. Like obviously, both of us have watched Loki now, and we've been keeping up with the Bad Batch, and obviously there's other things that we want to talk about. But for now, let's talk gaming. Also, I'm wearing my gaming gear. I've got my Street Fighter shirt. It's pretty cool. Like someone at work bought this for me. It's fucking cool. Quite happy with that.
That's nice.
But
actually, come think of it, I should also open up.
Like with all the stuff that's been announced, where do you even cause right now, right? I'll be honest, in terms of everything that's been released about E3, like all of the games that have been announced and everything, there's a couple of really cool things. Nothing that is great, I would say.
Yeah.
But a lot of junk. And a shitload of junk.
Yeah. Nothing that's really sort of leaped out or maybe go, oh, whoa, wee.
I agree. So let's start with let's start with some junk, shall we? Let's talk about Avatar for a second. Y'all seen Avatar? The one with the blue people?
Yep.
Yeah, it's getting a game, a whole game about the blue people. Avatar. James Cameron. It's James Cameron, everybody. I don't know if he's actually attached to the project, but it's his creation that's being made into an open world game. And I swear to God, if it isn't open world, then that game genuinely has nothing going for it.
Yeah. It just feels like all it feels like is just one big marketing tool. Kind of go, hey, look.
Literally.
The second movie going to be coming out soon. Remember this? Oh, here's a reminder of what this world is kind of like. But yeah.
It's pretty much that.
Yeah, because as we were talking about it, so Ubisoft, who are the game developers for it, were meant to be doing a Star Wars game.
Yeah, so specifically Ubisoft Snowdrop / Massive, who are the people who were behind The Division. Like they announced they were working on a Star Wars project, and I was very excited because a Star Wars game with Division mechanics sounds fucking cool to me.
It does, especially if it's like bounty hunter style stuff. That would be really cool.
And but then they went and made this instead. So
nicely done.
Yeah.
Nice. Because it's meant to be first person as well, from what I've gathered. It's kind of hard to tell.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, I can't tell. I genuinely can't tell.
Because Avatar the game. What's it called?
Something like the World of Pandora.
Pandora Frontier, I think it.
Yeah, something like that.
Look I mean, don't get me wrong. In terms of the visual aspects of the game, I'll be honest. It just like the movie. It actually looks quite nice, but it's like the visual aspects aren't what make that game. Like
Here's
it's I don't think it will be that good.
here's
Like,
my question.
But it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Here's my Can I do the nasty with the horses? Because remember, that's how they ride them. That's how they ride them.
Yeah, no, I remember.
That's all I want to know. Can I do the nasty with the horses? Can I ride the horses? And the other animals too. I want to ride the animals too.
Just all animals.
All the animals, except for the other blue people, because that's weird and implicit. That's TOS right there.
Okay. But yeah, a bit disappointed that they revealed the Avatar game over a Star Wars game.
Yeah, I was really
considering that just feels like a massive misstep from Ubisoft in the end. But to be fair, I feel like they've not always been consistent. In recent years, they've improved, but before that, they've not always been brilliant. So maybe this is a. But
Hello, JD.
JD, hey there, Jason.
How's it going, man? Welcome, welcome. We were just talking about E3, starting with the Avatar game. I'm sure you have opinions, because I'll be honest. I don't know anyone who thinks this is a good idea.
No. The movie was big at the time, just solely because it had 3D and it looked good.
Yep.
Now it doesn't. So.
And no one's been asking for the sequel of that film since maybe 2 years after that film released, which was about, I don't know, it came out in 2013, I want to say? No, even early, 2009. So for about 10 years, no one has actually cared about this film.
Nope.
And also, most people don't actually remember anything about the film. Like, you go out on the...
Had Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And that was...
I remember the main character was called Jake Sully, and he was sat in a wheelchair. And I think that was the whole point, is that I didn't see that, but the last Star Wars game, Squadrons, was so underwhelming. That's true, but Squadrons was made by EA. Like, actually by EA. This Star Wars game that they were developing was made by Ubisoft, Snowdrop, and Massive, who are behind The Division, which was a really good game. So that's what's kind of so disappointing about this, is that we were actually going to get a very good Star Wars game, most likely.
And to be fair, I mean, even though there was Squadron, they did lift their game with what was it, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, so, but I think that was before Squadron.
To be fair, I think from what I've gathered, the games are just like everything else to do with Star Wars now. It's very inconsistent. You've got some things that are great, like The Mandalorian, but then you've got some things that are shit, like the sequel trilogy.
Like the actual main series films.
Yeah, so I think we can honestly start expecting that to happen more and more to do with anything now, Star Wars. But as we just, the reason we kind of suspect, ultimately Ubisoft went with Avatar over Star Wars was because as I recall, I will double check this before I settle on it. Avatar was made by 20th Century Fox.
Sure.
Are now owned by Disney.
Yeah.
And Disney owns Star Wars, so we kind of suspect Disney kind of contacted Ubisoft and said, "Hey."
Also, just a side note, it's not called 20th Century Fox anymore.
What's it called now?
It's just called 20th Century. They dropped the Fox because it's not Fox anymore. It's Disney now.
Jesus. Okay.
Well, yeah. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is actually true. It's just called 20. So basically now, when you go to a film to a film that was meant to be made by 20th Century Fox, you will just see the original, like the animation as you're used to it, but it will just say a 20th century film.
Okay.
Or Searchlight at the most.
I don't know why that feels very small dick from Disney.
What you? Well, it's a conqueror's move, isn't it? It's like, remember this Fox banner? Yeah, can't do that anymore.
You call it You call it Conqueror, I call it Small Dick.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, I've just double checked. It was 20th Century Fox. So in other words, Disney have kind of come in and probably strong armed their way into a lot of this shit, I imagine.
Yeah, they probably did, as they're known to do.
Who knows? Maybe the Avatar game's been worked for a lot longer. Maybe it's been because fair games are usually in production for about 4 or 5 years, I think. Sometimes those are pretty rushed, typically. So we'll see.
You'd be surprised, actually. Usually, like they'll rush to get games into E3 just to generate some sort of hype.
That's true. This game could only just be starting development. That's a very good point.
Like Anthem, you know, when Anthem originally came into E3, it was like 2014, something like that.
Yeah, that was a long ass time ago. There were other games even.
You say Avatar isn't relevant, but there's a Aliens Colonial Marines game coming out. Well, there's a lot of games coming out that are nostalgia is a crack for old people. Yeah, I know that there's a lot of games coming out that are just not relevant. Like, they announced fucking... Oh, here's another shit game. Ubisoft as well, by the way. Mario and Rabbids 2. That's right. They decided to make a second one. The Rabbids obviously being an Ubisoft IP made for the world of Rayman, because it used to be called Rayman Raving Rabbids. But then they gained some sort of level of popularity that is literally only akin to Minions, because they're exactly the same concept. And then got their own games, and now they've matched up, not Rayman, but the Rabbids, with Mario and his brother and the rest of the kingdom. That was a while ago. That game wasn't good. I don't think it was well received at all. And here they are, making a sequel. And it's called Spark of Hope.
What were you talking again?
This is Mario and Rabbids 2, Spark of Hope. And I'm going to tell you, the Spark of Hope, you know what that hope is? The hope that anyone, just one person, will buy the game. Just one. Maybe.
So, just checked it out. Okay, so the new Alien Marine style game is going to be called Aliens Fireteam.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
The headline is, looks like the Colonial Marines game we've always hoped for.
Okay, that's going to disappoint you hard.
Yeah, I'm not going to get my hopes up.
Yeah, don't make statements like that.
They've fucked it up before, so yeah. I hope it's good, but I'm not expecting it to be.
What else do we have that we can rinse Ubisoft with specifically? Oh, I know. Let's talk about Far Cry for a second. Far Cry? I'll be honest, Far Cry looks pretty cool.
Decent franchise.
It looks pretty cool. However, to say that it isn't political, a game that is literally based on a fictionalized island that is clearly based on Cuba, where basically the point of the game is to topple a dictator, to say that that's not political, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my issue with that. It's like, oh, it's not political. It's like every Far Cry game you've ever made has pretty much been political, except for Far Cry Primal. That arguably is the only one that's not ever been political. The rest...
And Blood Dragon.
Oh, and Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon wasn't political at all.
But the rest have always been pretty political, let's be honest.
They have been to an extent. To be honest with you, I haven't really played all that many of them.
Not that many. So I played...
I played 2.
I think I played Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
Both of which felt quite political in some
ways. 3, I don't think 3 was all that political, to be honest with you.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it more and more. Actually, no. I don't think Far Cry was political until recent years.
Yeah. Well, because it became a trend, didn't it? Like, it just becomes a trend to like put a political thing into your games. It makes it intriguing. Political intrigue. But it doesn't always work.
No, it really doesn't. But, yeah. I feel Ubisoft...
They make great games, but sometimes...
Sometimes they miss the... Okay, so let's be honest. quite a few times they have missed the mark quite badly with quite a few games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I can't tell. It doesn't seem like they're doing a new Assassin's Creed game this year,
Which is good. That's fine.
Which is that's a good thing. So that's the one misstep they've avoided, I think.
Yeah, they are adding content to Valhalla. Apparently, something like basically they're putting in like black box missions, which were apparently a thing in Assassin's Creed Unity. Like they're making a new DLC section that's called the Siege on Paris. I don't know what that means. But if that means that they're expanding the map so that Paris is actually in the game, then fucking more power to you. Because that's the most impressive thing about that game, I think. Which I still need to play.
In the historic relevance of it, roughly around the time of when Assassin's Creed Valhalla takes place, maybe a little bit... Oh, your camera's gone wrong, by the way.
Ah, I knew it. Hang on, I can fix this.
But yeah, going back to it, when the Vikings were around, especially with Ragnar Lothbrok, they actually did siege Paris. So it looks like they're trying to go back for that. But obviously, well, without revealing too much, Ragnar Lothbrok is not in the game. His sons are, but not Ragnar. So we'll see.
Yep.
But that's it. That's the only relevance of why the Siege of Paris has probably been put in. It's like, oh, Vikings once sieged Paris. Let's do it again. You know.
I mean, it's from a marketing point of view, it makes perfect sense to do that.
Yeah. No.
I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to do anyway, because I think players will probably like that arc anyway.
Yeah. But yeah.
I just feel small if it zoomed out, so I had to like, I just had to adjust it real quick. Anyway, I think that's the only things really from Ubisoft, other than I think Rainbow Six Extraction.
New for Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
New
like Ghost Recon stuff.
Yeah. For Ghost Recon Breakpoint or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think like. Because I think Breakpoint is out already. I think they're just making like DLC stuff for it or whatever.
No, it's been out for a while now. Last year,
I think. I think that's all they have.
Decent game, but honestly, it feels.
It's an esport. It's an esport. Sorry, not. I was on Rainbow Six for some reason. Bloody what? Breakpoint. Good. I haven't played it actually, to be honest with you.
It's not. Are you saying Breakpoint is an esports game?
No, I made a mistake.
It's really not. No, I really like Siege. I think Siege is probably, in all honesty, bold statement. I think it's probably the best game Ubisoft have produced in years.
Okay.
Simply because of the replay value and the fact that I love Siege. It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Fair enough.
But yeah. But it will be Ubisoft have kept quiet for this E3. Not much other than Avatar.
Yeah, and the various other things. EA, however, striking hard with the Battlefield.
So, for anyone who probably doesn't know, I am a massive Battlefield fan. Like, really big Battlefield fan. I even liked Battlefield 5, and a lot of people really didn't like that one. So
did you like Hardline though?
Oh no, that was crap. That was Battlefield.
Got you there.
Touche. Yeah. I didn't mind the map designs in Hardline for multiplayer.
There was just no there was no replayability at all.
No, and the issue is like the whole point of Battlefield is the big, battles and tanks and vehicles, and you just never got that in Hardline. But yeah, so I have a thing here opened discussing the new features that are in Battlefield Hardline. So in the conquest mode, Ron, have you played Battlefield? Just quickly.
So I've played a couple of them, obviously not all of them. Bad Company 2 is still has a very special place in my heart.
Same. I started with Bad Company 1, but Bad Company 2 was fantastic.
I think I have Battlefield 1943 installed on my PS3, as well as Battlefield 3.
Yep.
I've played Battlefield 4, but I didn't feel much for it. I do have Battlefield 5 installed on my computer, and I think I have it on the because it was free on PS Plus for a while, wasn't it? So it's in my library.
Okay.
It on computer, however, it's absolute self torture to play it. Um, and also I do have this Battlefield 4 shirt that someone gifted to me, and I didn't say no, but also it's in a weird shade of blue, so it could be a Fantastic Four shirt. I don't actually know. It looks like a Battlefield 4 shirt. Look, there's a 4. I don't know.
I count on my screen. Actually, let me chug onto the stream. Yeah, that looks like a Battlefield 4.
Yeah, so you could say I know a thing or two about Battlefield,
Okay.
but only that.
So jumping into it, the little bits I know about Battlefield, Battlefield 2042, which is the new one.
Yes.
So discussing the most popular game mode, which is Conquest. Basically, it's like Domination, Call of Duty. There's all these capture points, and you each capture them, and a scoreboard will actually go down, not up in this. And basically, the team that reaches zero first loses. In this, they've made a massive overhaul. So to capture an actual section of the map, which is what would happen if you wanted to win Conquest, you don't have to capture 1 point, you have to capture 3, and then you will capture the whole section.
Yeah.
So it seems a lot more tactical in that sense that when you go for certain Conquest points, you're not just going to capture the whole area straight away. You have to capture particular ones first. So that's pretty interesting. And to be fair, they have expanded the game mode now to 128 people in one map.
Yep, I saw that.
That's for next generation and PC. For PS4 and Xbox One, it's going to remain at 64.
Yeah, although I think, to be honest with you, a game like that, I think would be remiss not to get on next gen consoles and PC because literally ray tracing. Literally just that.
From what I've gathered, this is very much a game designed for the next generation console.
But can I just say as well, like, for all the games that have come out and that I've looked at and that look fucking incredible, all of them are saying like, if you don't play this with ray tracing, then essentially you can't get the full effect of how beautiful this game really is.
Yeah.
And there are games out there like Forza, the racing game, for which that is very much true.
Yeah.
And I think Battlefield will benefit for it even more.
Yeah, because I'll be honest, I feel like with Battlefield, it's very much stolen the show for E3.
Yeah.
Like that's the title.
Because it's the only good game.
Yeah, it is the only good game. And to be fair, I think they announced it a little bit before E3 that they were going to show stuff. I think, but no.
They did like a couple of days before.
Yeah, a couple of days before. But that was the point. No one was expecting.
No,
so
that was a leak. Actually, they didn't even say anything. Like someone was like, "Oh, Battlefield 6, there's gonna be information coming out for that very soon. It's gonna be so fucking hype." And everyone's like, "It's not gonna happen. You're lying."
And then it happened.
And then it happened, and it was like, "Whoa!"
Because it was such a. Because to be fair, I think like a day or two after the leak, they pretty much were like, "Oh yeah, so here's the live stream for the reveal trailer," which is 5 minutes long, by the way, for a reveal trailer. Which I did have a bit of an issue with because I thought that's a long ass trailer, but I still loved it.
They showed all the maps. They pretty much had to.
They showed all the key maps. I don't think that's going to be all the maps because what there was.
Oh yeah, some of them are going to be fucking DLC or something, knowing EA.
Yeah, probably. But because what they only really showed like 4 or 5, I think. And to be fair, Battlefield usually start with like at least I think 6 or 8 roughly. So I think it's still being displayed. Because they still need to do the whole gameplay demo thing, of which will be obviously scripted. They'll be like, "Oh, destroy this piece, which conveniently a tank is sat right on top of. So when we destroy it, the tank will collapse down into view." Which they did for Battlefield 4, which was funny. But going back to Battlefield 2042. So, yeah, this is something that I funny. When they were like going to go the reveal trailer, they put the stream up for it like 2 days in advance. So you could sit around for 2 days with the stream up, waiting for it. And the countdown. I thought, that's a bit too much.
It's a bit much. It's a bit arrogant, but people probably still did it anyway.
People still clicked onto it because why not?
Why wouldn't you? Also, is it stupid to know that like of all the games that have been shown on E3 were the most positive about one that's made by EA.
Yeah, that says a lot about this year's EA.
It's sad, isn't it?
I think, to be fair, I don't contribute Battlefield success to EA. I contribute it to DICE.
That is
Because I
true.
think DICE know what they're doing when it comes to Battlefield. Like they've
Yeah.
always nailed it. Like,
Well, they've got the right engine for it.
they've got the right engine. They've got the right gameplay. They make the right adjustments. A few times I feel like EA's kind of dabbled their hands and made things go wrong, is like with Battlefield 5. But other than that, DICE have always kind of found a way to make it.
I mean, again, Battlefield 5 is not a bad game by any means, but it's just torture. It's just constant death.
To be fair, most Battlefield games are like that, but it's
I know.
just playing that with the right group of people and so on.
Yeah, it's true. That is very true.
Sorry,
Trying to think of other games that are.
Well, before you do that, sorry, because Battlefield, there are going to be 3 experiences. So first and foremost, there's no campaign, which solid choice, because let's be honest,
Makes sense.
Every time they've made a campaign, it's gone horribly wrong. But they've got 3 experiences, which is just straight multiplayer, co-op, and solo, which is basically you can play against AI bots either by yourself or with your friends. Which I think, to be fair, I think a lot of people might jump to that because that will make the game less stressful, I think, in some ways, but still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff hasn't really changed. Oh, they've taken away classes by the looks of things.
That is an interesting move because that's one of the most defining features about their game.
It looks like what they're doing is going with specialists, like essentially like in Rainbow Six Siege, which is like there's just like
operator. Oh no! Don't tell me! Don't tell me you have to buy the operators.
No, not with Battlefield.
Okay.
That would be so. I think EA with at least Battlefield have kind of learned their lesson that you can't loot box operators and stuff like that. Like you can do it for cosmetics, which I think from what I've gathered they've been open. Like, oh yeah, you can pay for stuff in Battlefield 2042, but it's all cosmetic.
Yeah.
So, which I think is the right choice. So I think from what I've gathered, there's going to be quite a few operators. Each of them are going to have special abilities, but essentially you have one unified class for each of them. So you can have any primary weapon with them. So it's no longer medic has assault rifle, support has LMGs, and engineer has carbines. Like, no, you can have any of them on any specialist, but the specialist is what will define your playstyle essentially.
Yeah.
And lastly, the other final game, the massive game adjustment they've added in, which wasn't a previous title called Crisis, which, to be fair, another EA title, you can adjust your weapons on the fly.
That's pretty cool.
So you can, if you're like, oh, we're going, up top, lots of open ground, lots of long-range engagements, a big scope. Oh, we're now going into a sewer, which is close and compact and tight and, CQB. Take off the massive scope, put on a red dot sight. So
yeah. Do you know what? I don't remember the multiplayer for Crisis all that well.
I know it was just a feature in Crisis, the game itself, including single player.
Oh, fair enough. I do remember it was a thing in the single player. I just didn't remember it being in the multiplayer for a second there.
It probably wasn't. I don't imagine it would be.
Yeah, it'd be very. I mean, it sounds pretty clumsy to me, but if it works.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. But it looks like they may have found. I think from what I've gathered, is it might be that you take in a selection of attachments that you can change on the fly, but you can't just like completely change and alter your gun entirely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think,
maybe.
And if that's the case, then that makes sense.
Can I just say, by the way, we've been streaming for about half an hour. This Nintendo stream is still about the exact same subject, the exact same game that we were talking about half an hour ago. And still, I can guarantee that no one's going to talk about this game in a year. I don't even know what it's called. Like, it looks like a weird kind of, like, if you wanted to play Zelda, but you can't afford Zelda for some reason.
Yeah, it looks like a poor man's Zelda, in all honesty.
Like, it doesn't look good. So, I hope that they switch it up soon, because otherwise this whole, like, setup was for nothing. This breaks. This is one of the, like, a friend of mine who is a big Nintendo fan. or actually just a big gaming fan, really, when you consider it. He has already made the prediction that there's going to be like 15 JRPGs made by Nintendo that no one really cares about. But they'll push them because that's the only stuff that they've got going. The problem with Nintendo, that I find a bit sad, is that they're always very well. No, it's a gift and a curse. Is they're very focused on exclusives, like basically making their own titles for games that only they develop. And I think in terms of exclusives, Nintendo has probably the most titles out of anyone, because you've got a whole game dedicated to this concept. It's Super Smash Brothers. Even though these days, like, they have characters from games that aren't made by Nintendo at all, which I think defeats the purpose a little bit. Like, why is Minecraft Steve there?
Yeah, because I think what is it like with that? It's not even that they just have all these exclusives. It's that there's only really, let's be honest, there's probably 4 major ones that people care about, which is Mario, Zelda,
Yep,
Smash Bros, and Pokemon.
pretty much.
I feel like the rest very much get lost in the background, and those are the only ones that kind of save their.
I think there's a couple of them that people do enjoy quite a bit, but they're more of the like hardcore Nintendo fans. Like, if I say Kirby, it's like, you know the titles, you've definitely heard of them, but like, have you ever played like Kirby at all?
No. Oh, and there's Sonic.
Not Metroid. I'm surprised Castlevania isn't making a reappearance. I did see something about Castlevania the other day, but it's weird that it didn't get. Metroid, I haven't seen anything from Metroid yet. Metroid is actually no. Metroid is a pretty well-known.
It is, but the issue is they haven't done anything with Metroid in years. I feel
that is also true.
I feel like the longer a game goes without getting another title, the more it fades away into obscurity. Because the fact that I didn't even remember it, or we didn't remember it, didn't jump out. Shows, I think it kind of has lost a lot of.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not super huge on Metroid. I think I played Metroid, whichever the Wii one was. I know that it's sacrilege to say, well, this is my experience with Metroid. Obviously, I must have, I should have played the Super Nintendo version, and then I can say that I actually know the genre. But like, I haven't played any of those, so I don't really have any attachments to the game or the franchise of it. It is a big Nintendo title. That is entirely fair.
I think because with Castlevania, it wouldn't surprise, because I don't think they wouldn't release if they are making a new Castlevania game, I don't think they would do anything with it this year, seeing the last season just came out. So I think it would be next year. If anything they would do, that's when they would push the next Castlevania game. But yeah.
I just want to see Wii Sports Resort 2. That's what matters to me.
Correct. Trying to think of other big game news. There's not much. I feel like, in all honesty, E3 hasn't.
It's not been great. Well, Skyrim has been announced for next gen consoles, as if you didn't know it was going to happen.
What Skyrim? Which one?
The Skyrim. As in Elder Scrolls 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's the same. It's the same fucking joke every year with E3 and Bethesda. It's like, oh, are they gonna talk about Elder Scrolls? Is there gonna be are we gonna finally have Elder Scrolls 6? And it's like, we know you want Elder Scrolls 6, so here's yet another version of Skyrim. Actual Skyrim remaster, literally. Like, it's like, I don't know if this was an April Fool's gag, but like, I think probably last year. You probably remember this. They made like a video where they announced Skyrim for Alexa, where basically like the guy like he's like with voice kind of like, To be fair, they don't want to fall into the CD Projekt Red trap. What, the one where they make a mediocre game as a slightly mediocre sequel, a fantastic third part to it, and then make one of the most hyped games which ends up being broken? Is that the trap? Because Skyrim is an old game. It's been what, 8 years?
He's talking about more the overhype. I mean, to be fair, a lot of games.
That's true.
No Man's Skies did kind of fall into that trap. Let's be fair as well.
Yep.
Time ago, but I think a lot of I don't even really feel Anthem kind of fell into that trap because no one's really
because it was dead on arrival before it even arrived.
Yeah, but
No, but in terms of Elder Scrolls 6, Skyrim is 20? 20. I think it was 2013. Strike that, I meant 10. 2010. Or 10 years. I mean, it doesn't make a difference at that point, like, you know, 2010, 2011. It's anniversary edition. Okay, so it's 10 years old. Literally, they've been making the same game for 10 years over and over.
The thing is, it's because they found Elder Scrolls Online. That's what they've been pushing. They found the multiplayer equivalent. That's all they care. That's the thing. It's the same thing. Because to be fair, as much flack as we give Elder Scrolls 5 and Skyrim, there is another game that's just as equally guilty of all this. That's GTA 5.
That is true, and I'm not letting Rockstar off the hook because they're
E3. We're going to have a big discussion about GTA, and was like, oh, really? Yeah, we're bringing GTA 5.
Well, hang on. You say that. You say that.
Why?
To their credit, okay. Consider Skyrim, and then since Skyrim, Bethesda has made 3 games, as far as I'm aware, which is Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Now, the Fallout games, consider them as you do. I honestly haven't played them. I don't know if I can judge them properly. I played Skyrim. Me personally, I wasn't really attached to it, but I can, you know, I see that people love it, and that's fair.
Yeah.
I've played Elder Scrolls Online. It's broken in many cases, but if you want to have a nice chill game, like a game evening with your friends, and you just want to have a casual drink over an RPG that you want to do, then it's not a bad option. There's better options out there, but it's not a bad option. It's nice and chill. Also, Jason says he loves Fallout 4. Fair enough. So they made a very good game then.
Yeah, because Fallout 4 was well received. Because Fallout 76 was the one that kind of tanked a lot of Bethesda's reputation ultimately.
Yeah. Now, in Rockstar's defense, they made GTA 5, and then they made Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
And Red Dead Redemption 2 is still one of the greatest games that anyone has ever made.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Sup, my nerds, I'm lurking. Welcome, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy, because here's the thing, just quickly, because you forgot to mention it, but Bethesda also did Doom.
That is true. That is true. The issue with online games is that they are always changing. So how a game launches is very different than how it is currently good or bad. Mm-hmm. Also true.
It is also true.
Except for Fallout 76.
But, like, that's the thing. Like, well, I haven't played Fallout 76 at all. I feel with certain games, sometimes you don't even really have to play them. Because if you can see, like, the initial backlash and actually see evidence of why people don't like this game, you can be like, nah, I can agree with why. Because with Fallout 76, I feel that was the case.
Oh, 76 is a solid game now. I'm gonna have to try it.
I think that's the case. That's the case with a lot of like games like that. Because when Destiny 1 came out, it was not well received. It was pretty empty.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to it, and then they started releasing a lot of the DLCs like Taken King and so on, and it started lifting up. The Division 1 was pretty much the same thing, came out, a bit lackluster, got better as it went on. It just happens now with a lot of games that are like that. Looter shooter RPG online games.
Yeah.
Finally got that out. Because that's, I think, what it is now most of the time with a lot of these games.
Yeah. Also, it you know, it kind of depends on a lot of things. For instance, Elder Scrolls Online, again, you know, I can't get very invested into it. It's alright at best. Oftentimes missions are just broken as well. Like the other day, I had to like pickpocket someone, but for some reason, like that option wasn't available to me, or like something. I don't even know what it was that I had to do. It was said like, find this object here, and I went there, and there was nothing there. And there was a guy there. I couldn't pickpocket him. I couldn't kill him. I couldn't do anything. It's like, how am I? I couldn't even talk to him. Like, how am I meant to get this object from you? Yeah, that kind of thing really kind of sours the game for me. That was Elder Scrolls Online. Obviously, like Jason said, Fallout 76 is solid now. That means that they probably diverted their attention to work on that game instead of Elder Scrolls Online, even though it's probably completely different teams because Bethesda is probably so large.
It is a large company, and I think as well, like Bethesda as well. I don't know if this plays part into it at all in any ways, but you know what this looks like? This feels like I don't know, a PG Nintendo version. Watching this stream.
Yeah, let me just show the stream real quick. Like, it's not really interesting what's going on here, but like, look at this.
This looks very much like the poor man PG-13 rated version of Monster Hunter.
Yeah, where are they? Are they speaking?
Take it.
Oh my god. If we had paid attention, I would know what's going on probably, but like for so far, it doesn't look good.
You ready for this?
Yeah, it looks whatever it is.
Right on.
Oh.
Right on. Born to glide.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh boy.
Moving on from that. Oh, and that's where the gameplay demo ends.
Yep.
Oh,
no,
wait,
it continues. It's doing this weird strategy thing. It's not really interesting. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't look this. I don't even know what game this is, but it looks fucking forgettable.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
Any other final things to do? Games and E3.
I'm trying to think of any, but like, I think Nintendo are niche, but they're niche enough that they continue. The thing is, it's true for the most part. I think that there are a couple of like, because I'll be honest, most people that I know that own a Switch will probably not get this game or a game like this because they're simply not really into this kind of. I think they're more the people who like, I'll get obviously Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild. People are looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2. Oh, this is Monster Hunter. That's why it looked like a Monster Hunter.
The version of Monster Hunter, because it did look familiar, but it very much looked like the PG version of Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
But anyway, all the Monster Hunter fans would be like, "What is this?
What is it?
Why have you done this to our game?" But anyway, I feel like Nintendo's always been a very much if you have the console like the Switch or the Wii, it is a couch play game. So it's a game that you have friends over.
Oh sure.
Get friends over and you all play it together. But it's never really struck me as this is the leading console for,
Nah, it won't be. It won't be. But for me, like the Nintendo consoles have always been like, look, if you have friends, and you have your friends come over quite a lot, and you want to have like a solid console that you can play nice games together, like good party games especially, then by far Nintendo will give you the better games for it. I like, honestly, I'm gonna sound like I'm trying to sound old, but obviously fail to do so, but I'm not. I fondly remember the GameCube. I loved the GameCube growing up. Most of my friends had one. I ended up having one as well with my brother. And what we did is, obviously when we went to play at each other's place, it would be a kind of thing where most of us only owned like 2 controllers, so we would bring controllers along, and sometimes games as well. And so the games that I fondly remember are not necessarily Mario Kart. We didn't really play Mario Kart all that much, but for instance, like Mario Party 5 was a big one. 007 Nightfire, 007 GoldenEye. Medal of Honor, we played that a lot as well. Those games predominantly. There was a Medal of Honor game on GameCube. It was like a 4-player. There was a 4-player multiplayer where we could like split screen fight against each other.
Interesting.
It was pretty good. It was like it was good time. I think I'm mostly like speaking from the point of view of nostalgia, but I that made a childhood for me. And then obviously like at home I also had like a couple of games. I had The Sims 2, which I think is what caused me some sort of like an internet virality for like some reason. And then there was the Batman Begins game. There was the I had Spyro for like a short duration of time. Spider-Man 2. Anyway, like there was no shortage of games, but like they had their own game. Then we got the Wii, and then obviously you have Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort, Wii Play, Wii Party, Mario Party 8, which was actually really decent. Mario Kart, Mario Tennis. There's a bunch of those games that honestly were really good.
Yeah.
And then you got your Call of Duty, but no sane person ever plays Call of Duty on the Wii.
Nope.
So Mario. Yeah, predominantly Mario. I'd say that's about right. Speaking of Mario, whoa, let's go!
Oh, Mario Golf?
Oh, it's Mario Golf! Oh!
You
Look
can
at
do that
this!
once, which is a new feature for offline in this game. Before, it was available in Nintendo 3DS.
Oh my god, I couldn't be talking more boring about this.
And it was available online, so this is really cool that you get to try it out.
Look at them. They got their golf suits on and everything.
Of playable characters.
Look at how amazing all the outfits look.
Yeah.
Like
Look at
This is-
quality.
And people will pay big money for it.
Dapper.
Yeah, they will.
Are such a choice.
They will because these franchises are so popular as well. And I'll be honest as well, like if the Switch wasn't as expensive as it is, I would have probably considered getting one.
Together.
Yeah, same.
Unfortunately,
I had an interesting conversation with a friend at work the other day.
Animated
Colin,
content.
about the idea of them
black and red.
producing the next
Face.
Nintendo console and whether they're going to produce one after the Switch soon. And I thought, no, because honestly, I don't see why they would.
no.
It won't be for a year or two, in all honesty.
I'm gonna go with the other OG.
It won't be for another year or
Guy,
two.
you're too far away from the mic.
It
Tommy
won't
says
be
that.
for another year or two.
Wait, let
Can
me
you hear me now?
let me solve this.
That's my secret strategy.
There we go. I just make you louder.
So we're gonna play Wild Weather Woods.
Problem solved.
And what's really interesting
Who
about
the
this
hell is Pauline? I don't know. Who is
there's
Pauline?
natural hazards that will affect your gameplay.
Pauline is new apparently. I don't know.
There's
Oh,
different
wait.
phases in
Is
this
the narrator probably?
where,
Look, you know that Twitch chat doesn't always make sense. All right. This
conditions
isn't this.
gameplay very,
Why
very
does
interesting.
get to be in this golf game? I don't know. I still don't know who Pauline is.
Yeah, so
Probably like a character from like Mario Odyssey or something like that.
day,
Moderate wind.
lots of trees. Yeah,
She isn't even a princess.
miles per hour.
Okay.
Sort of,
Okay, we're just excluding people based on their regent status. That's fine.
So you can see right underneath Pauline's name, there's a little flag indicator with two downward facing arrows. That means that the flag is downhill. So that's something we need to take account for.
You know what?
Pauline,
Here to an
Pauline is Mario's side piece. That's all she is.
She's a side piece.
distance changes as
Yeah,
well.
if you female another princess, you ain't in Mario. I can contest that.
Carry, which is the distance that
Um,
will,
What's fucking Toadette?
fly. Thank you.
Is she a princess?
Will change, and then
I don't
Very
think
true.
she is. I think she's a servant.
transparent
Or whatever,
or run.
Yoshi's girlfriend is, whatever her name is.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
I forgot.
Berta? Berta?
Oh, Birdo. That's the one. She the queen? Queen Toadette? I don't think so. I think that's a lie. Toadette is Princess Peach's mom, confirm. Toadette, she's the gender bent Toad, is she? Yes, she is. So if Toad isn't the regent, then is she? Who knows? Who knows? What are the rules?
Oh, we're waiting for this to. Oh, nice shot. That should be a pretty decent shot.
Toad is the king. I really don't think that's true. Yes, he spent an unusual amount of time being stuck in a castle. By the way, the wrong one. All right, so if he isn't the king, he's stupid. He's actually stupid.
Good at other things. Mario has a little more driving distance.
Mario has a little more driving distance, of course he does. I'm going to get this game for my uncle so he can play with his kids. That's sweet.
That's sweet.
What does your mayoral instinct tell you, Rob?
Never be in the wrong
Yeah,
castle.
that's
Mario
side
has
piece.
been 7 times per game.
Prey,
Nice
probably.
shot.
That's definitely Mario's side piece. Look at her.
Look at her. There she is. That's Pauline.
You guys are off to a good start.
Golf. All right. Hey boys. Hey Ellie, how's it going?
To go again since
Yeah.
you're farther back.
Yep. Notice the little bitty buds there. They're they're both a course hazard and a course.
Just watching E3 announce Mario Golf number whatever this is.
No, chat. Stop being toxic, men. don't be toxic.
Go off your ball, like, but sometimes
Man, I had some bad latency with the chat, but looks things.
where it can get you closer to
Oh,
the
there's a
so-
there's a comment here.
You'll notice also that my sorry.
Apparently I was on Twitch, so I thought I would come and say hi.
A little bit curved here, and that's because of the way the ball is lying.
Hello.
And I got these red triangles here to show me that if I try to get the maximum power, I lose a little bit of control in the process.
There's so much helpful.
Exposed.
Like that little select.
What?
No.
What are
I'm
you
kidding.
talking about?
I'm kidding. Don't worry about it.
Nice.
Really well.
Very well.
Times.
Look how beautiful that was.
Don't worry about it.
Stay on the green. Stay on the green. Stay on the.
The little curve.
Power.
It's just
Slightly too much power.
Him with the curve.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
So
still in good
Ah.
shape.
Is this actually
Yeah.
interesting? I don't know.
going.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, just a little
Why are we still watching this? Get this
Yeah.
off.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do away with this.
But yeah,
Look.
I guess there's not even much now to talk about.
Yeah.
With
No.
E3.
In terms of E3, no.
I guess then the only thing to wrap it up with is Ubisoft. The one new game they've really announced with Avatar is just pointless. I'm not sure why they've even bothered. Actually, no, that's not true. They did announce Rainbow Six Extraction, but I didn't see much to do with that. But I don't think they even really released a gameplay trailer, which is disappointing. But to
Yeah.
be fair, all AAA companies do that.
There's a
But
lot of
yeah.
screaming children on your end, by the way.
Oh, that's my window open up.
Okay.
Yes, it's hot, man. Okay, cut me some slack. It's either that or you hear a fan going into the mic, which I feel would even be more unpleasant. But that's
Yeah.
just me.
No, I mean it is fucking hot right now.
It
I
is
am-
super hot.
Okay, look. Okay. I keep getting this from people who live in warmer countries, okay? My parents are making fun of me. It's a humid heat, okay? You feel it more. All right? You know, people in nice and warm countries like Portugal or Togo, you know, it's a dry heat. It's more bearable. I'm sorry to say this, but it's true. A dry heat is more bearable than a humid heat. All right?
He's not wrong. And guys, everyone's going, oh, you know, but I live in Togo or I live in Portugal. You know, it's hotter here. It's like, man, I lived in fucking Australia. That's heat.
Actually, we're in the rainy season. Okay. It doesn't make it more humid though, does it?
It actually does, because
It does because of the moisture being
yeah.
rain droplets. You probably already talked about it, but Battlefield, baby, yeah, that's hot. Not the weather. Battlefield is hot.
Yeah, we did talk about it already, and the assessment was basically Battlefield 1 E3 pretty unanimously at this point. There's not much that had to beat, to be fair. They didn't even reveal the next Call of Duty, which, to be fair, actually,
I don't think they will.
Nah. So they'll
'Cause-
probably announce. I'm trying to think of when they'll
Because
actually announce it.
they had an update not like a couple of days ago. Did you play recently?
No, I haven't played Call of Duty in a while, man. In all
Okay.
honesty.
I'm gonna admit something. I'm gonna admit something that is quite shameful.
Uh-huh.
Right. So I did play Call of Duty the other day, and I made a maybe ill-advised purchase. Right.
What
I bought the John McClane operator back, and you know the worst thing isn't that I bought it. It's that I actually think it's pretty cool.
Oh man, who gives a shit?
I will say I can only use them in Warzone.
Oh, yeah, it's true. You would only be able to use Warzone.
Yeah.
I hate Cash.
Hey, how's it going, man? What's going on over here? What is that? The Die Hard time? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So what they've done now is they've released 2 operator packs for like a special like 80s, like an 80s action hero kind of event. Even though they only put 2 in, right? That's something we can talk about, to be honest. They put 2 in. They put in Rambo and they put in John McClane from Die Hard.
Yeah,
And-
but to be fair, I don't really know if they would put anyone else in.
I would say Dutch from Predator.
Maybe.
I think that would fit pretty well.
Because the thing is, the couple of reasons why I think they may not want to is because
Dutch from Predator, yes.
because a long time ago, to be fair though, with what was it?
The guy from Commando.
Ghost Recon Wildlands. They had the whole Predator thing, so they may not want to step on their toes and have people say, "Oh, you're just copying them." It might be that.
Okay, they could get literally any other incarnation of Schwarzenegger.
That's very.
You know, we've got some suggestions that John Matrix from Commando, the Terminator.
Nah, you can. I would say there's more of an argument for either the guy from Commando or
Yeah.
probably actually.
Sorry, John Matrix is not Commando. John Matrix was
Look, it's just Arnold
something
Schwarzenegger
else.
from the Commando, okay? Because that's who he is in that film, the Commando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, that's gonna bother me now.
But yeah.
Matrix was Commando. Okay, well there you go.
But yeah. The only reason they've really done all this is because of whatchamacallit. Cold War. There we go.
Yeah. Cold War is quite recent as well, yeah, actually. So they should probably release some extra content for that first. And even then, they're only really focused on Warzone right now, to be absolutely honest with you.
Yeah.
Which is a pity.
It is, because to be honest, like, Warzone right now, from what I've got, has a lot of issues now to do with cheaters.
Yeah.
A lot more recently, I think, because no, crossplay has always been a thing in Warzone.
It's been not always, but like as far as we can remember, for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's been a thing that long.
Yeah, but yeah, because usually Call of Duty comes around November. So November's 5 months away now, roughly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a lot of time left now to announce the next Call of Duty, because they're gonna do one, because that's what they do.
Yeah, but not anytime soon though. I don't think they need one anytime soon.
I guess to be fair, considering Warzone is probably the most popular thing right now, and considering Battlefield 2042 was just announced, they may be aware that they may not win E3 with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They were probably well aware that it would happen, that they would probably lose to EA this year. So it might have been a tactical move on their part. Because I'm pretty sure they've gone to E3 with Call of Duties before.
Oh no, they have. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just don't think they're developing a new one. And I don't think they should, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me to take a break, and I don't think it would be the worst thing ultimately in the end.
Guys, you're forgetting the most important game to be released in November.
Huh?
Which game is releasing in November? FIFA.
Okay, moving.
Are you sure?
Cue the John Cena meme. Are you sure about that? So quickly, because Ross is obviously a big footy fan. I'm sure Ross is happy with the result England got against Croatia. I know I am.
Sure.
I know that most of you probably don't care. But in all honesty, man, well, you say that about FIFA, but honestly, as much as I enjoy occasionally playing FIFA, who really gives a shit because they never do anything new with it?
No. I'm looking forward to buying the exact same game again. But with ray tracing.
Yeah. In all honesty, I will say this. I think FIFA for the longest time, for a long time now, has kind of died out because I think people have just caught on to the crap and are just sort of sick and tired of them always focusing on the fucking monetized multiplayer aspect of it and not focusing on the single player things that they can change and make big leaps and bounds with. So, in all honesty, man, let's be fair, FIFA's pretty dead now at this point.
I will say there's a couple of ways I can think of to renew the breath of life that fuels FIFA. That is not true. There are rumors of them changing the color scheme for FUT Online. Great. Now, if that isn't worth buying, I don't know what is. Says Ross.
I hope he's sarcastic. No, it's Ross. I know he's sarcastic.
Okay, so I'm going to pitch you. I'm going to pitch you ideas.
Just quickly, for anyone who doesn't know, FUT Online is FIFA Ultimate Team. But just quickly, before you give us your ideas, to give you an idea of how dead it is. So, whenever an international competition happens, EA does this whole thing with is like they announce like, oh, we're gonna do like a special thing for this FIFA for it. They didn't even do one this year for the Euros. They haven't even put in like a special Euros competition this year for FIFA. So that shows you how dead it is. That they can like no,
literally. So here are my pitches to improve FIFA.
All right, let's hear them.
Number 1, introduce swords.
Okay.
Players carry swords onto the field, and as you are playing, you slay the opponent to get control of the ball.
Ron, I need to introduce you to a game called Chivalry.
I know Chivalry. I know that they're making a sequel now as well.
They've released the sequel.
They've released a sequel, yeah, but I haven't been able to. Well, to be fair, the Euros were meant to be last year, COVID and all that stuff. Yes, but they're happening this year. You know?
And it's not like it would be a hard thing to probably. They probably made a mode for last year and waited for it to come out. Didn't come out, and they're like, well, how hard would it be to take that mode from the previous FIFA, put it onto the next one? It's like there would be massive leaps and bounds in the gameplay that would ruin that mode. Let's be fair.
Now, if you don't like swords, guns.
So basically, you want them to make either Chivalry on a football field or a Battlefield on a football field.
Yes.
You do know there is something called the stadium in Warzone, right?
Yes. The ball's too big. It's not real. Blood bow.
Blood bow.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So called FIFA Merge.
There was actually. I just remembered. We forgot to talk about one other particular game.
Oh.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, it's because it keeps slipping my mind because it's so bad.
It looks awful.
It looks like a cross between the most recent Avengers game and the not Traveler's Tales, the Telltale games.
Yeah. To be fair, I think it wouldn't surprise me if it's set within the same universe as the Avengers game, if they're trying to do that sort of thing now.
Also, side note, Ross likes my ideas. Just saying. I think it's got potential.
I mean, to be fair, it's also Ross. You know, you could give this guy, fucking Skittles and a banana, and he'll be happy.
Okay, well, now that you've said that, I have to reconsider. Yeah, I don't know about Guardians of the Galaxy. The thing is, it looks okay.
It looks okay, but it doesn't look like it's gonna blow me away. Because the thing that kills me for it is the fact that you could only play as Star-Lord. Like if you could play as others, I would think no, that's fair, but only Star-Lord, and I think that kind of ruins the game. Not ruins it, but it kind of kills the mood a bit. Because I imagine people were probably quite excited, and then they saw, oh, play as Star-Lord, okay. And this is the part where they'll have the bits where it shows you all the stuff Star-Lord can do, and then they'll say, play as Gamora, and then it just never happened. Everyone's like, wait, that's it?
Yep.
There's one of them? Who's making Galaxy game, actually? I want to take
Square Enix.
Oh.
who are
Let's be honest.
incidentally the people who made the Avengers game.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be so good. Let's be honest. What was the last good thing Square Enix made?
I don't know.
I'm struggling to remember. In all honesty, I really am struggling to remember. That's not a good sign for them. It has to be said. Let's be fair.
Oh yeah. There we go. Chat's on screen. Hooray. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. I know Square Enix made a bunch of cool games. Like they made Just Cause.
Okay, so what they've made: the Final Fantasy VII remake, Final Fantasy 15, Diablo, Kingdom Hearts 3. They made the Tomb Raider games.
That's fair. Those are actually pretty decent.
Here we go. Let's actually look up the game list on most recent ones from the last, let's say, maybe 5-6 years. Okay. So 20.
Gotta go off now with the happy strings. Thank you very much for joining in, man. We really appreciate it.
Fair enough.
See you soon.
Neo: The World Ends with You comes up. It came out April 15th. No idea what that is. It was a game. No, don't know. Nothing. Kingdom Hearts: Melody of Memory came out November last year. That was probably one of the only other ones. The
not super intriguing. Must say.
I don't think nothing really that leaps out at me, to be honest with you. A lot of Final Fantasy stuff, but for I think, when you make up to 15 games, it kind of loses a bit of soul. Weirdly,
It really does. And also, like I know that game franchise has a massive following, but I feel like at this point, if you're not in the franchise, it's so difficult to get into, and none of the games actually speak to me in any meaningful way.
Yeah, because they've also announced Final Fantasy 16 now. And a game called Babylon's Fall. No idea. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Square Enix have not really nailed it in the last few years, let's be fair.
Yeah, not particularly.
Weirdly, I don't actually see the Avengers game on this one. Weirdly.
I'm pretty sure they made it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did too.
Like I know they did that. They did Just Cause. They did Sleeping Dogs back in the day. I'm sure they made like a bunch of cool games, but I can't really think of any like off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, nothing within the last sort of year or two that's sort of stolen the show. Because I think the one that they made, to be fair, this was a long ass time ago, that really made me quite excited and happy was their first attempt at the Tomb Raider remakes.
Yeah.
Or what reboots. 2013 is when that came out.
Yeah.
That was a super good game. Yeah. Ugh.
Cool.
Yeah. I guess now I'm going to wrap it up. But before we do have to talk about one final thing from Disney Plus, as they released it.
Cool. Am I assuming that we're not playing today then?
Nah, probably not, to be honest. But to be
Yeah,
fair,
fair enough.
there was a lot to talk about when
There was a lot to talk about.
Can't film the podcast tomorrow. It's a good thing we did this today.
Yeah.
But Loki came out last Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Thoughts on it?
I'll be honest, before anyone says spoilers, I'm gonna try to be a little bit spoiler free at the start of it. I'll be honest, I liked it, but I'm not hugely impressed. Not as much as I would like to be.
Yeah, also I liked it too. I actually liked this first episode more than I liked the first episode of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Sorry, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Maybe not as much as I liked the first episode of WandaVision, but I really liked this first episode simply because I just don't think it, I was expecting them to get straight into it, but I'm happy they kind of took it slow. I don't know why. There was a lot of great character stuff with Loki, which I enjoyed.
Do you know what you say that? I don't know. Jason says I liked it. I really didn't like WandaVision. Really?
That's the thing. I find WandaVision's a show a lot of people either really don't like or really like. It's one of the two. I've found very few people who kind of go, yeah, it's okay. Most people either really like or really don't. It's one of those two.
It was full of Americana nostalgia. That's fair. That is very fair, especially the first couple of episodes.
Because I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you, Ron, but I watched it with my mother, and she really liked the show, but she grew up with all the
with all the shows that they imitated.
Yeah, they imitated it.
Yeah, so like what the Dick Van Clark show, was it like Full House or something like that? Let's see. She was the villain in the end, no consequences, and the showrunners did a massive F you to all the fans with that fake out cameo. I'll be honest, I agree. That fake out cameo was a dick move, and I didn't like it, and I've said that before. Like I really wish it was just the actual Quicksilver. I don't know about no consequences necessarily. It's just that we haven't really seen the consequences quite yet, but I think there will be consequences.
Because I think with what Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I think that's where the consequences of what Wanda has done are going to play into effect.
Yeah. Also, I didn't mind the fact that she was the villain. I think that made sense. No, actually, no, sorry. Did she take responsibility for the massive amount of prisoners she held? Did she even say sorry? No. But at the same time, I don't mind that, because this is the thing. Like, I remember in the comics, she started doing shitty things without apologizing for them that culminated in essentially her being hunted down by both the Avengers and the X-Men.
Yeah.
So in that regard, like, I don't mind that so much. Like, she's not meant to be a good person.
I think because from what I gathered in the end is she was aware what she did was wrong, but at the same time, it's one of those things where, let's be fair, if someone did that to you like Wanda, and then she said sorry, would you accept her apology?
She joined the Avengers again after killing half the mutants. Yeah, but wasn't there a whole story arc in between?
Yeah, I think there was.
Also, didn't the Avengers disband like shortly after? Like when was Avengers? No, sorry, that was way before. Now I think about it. When was this assembled? I don't remember now. They disband all the time. Yeah, no, I'm specifically talking about what? No, wait, Disassembled was before Civil War, wasn't it? And House of M was after. I don't remember now, to be honest with you. I forgot. Anyway, I interpret her as like being on a path to she joined the X-Men Avengers combo team. Okay. So yeah, so the one that I don't have my chronology on mind right now.
So moving back to the show.
Yes. Go on.
Anyway, I'm not sure if you've even heard anything I was saying about the fact that even if after all the things she did, if she even apologized to people, I don't think it would really matter all that much, because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't accept it.
Yeah.
So I think
it looks like they didn't, to be honest with you.
People could say, "Oh, she should have said sorry." It's like, yeah, but if you know that people aren't even going to accept it in the first place, the best you really can do is leave them alone. Just leave that place, because the last thing they'll want to see is just you again. So I think ultimately the only apology she could give them was leaving them. And yeah. Fair, she did also exile herself away from the rest of the world afterwards as well by going to that weird mountain range place.
Yeah. Apology means taking responsibility. Yeah. To be fair, she didn't outwardly. She lives with the guilt, though.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, because once again, I think that's a bit harsh, because in the end, as Agatha was forcing all those people to confront her during the whole sort of final conflict, there was a notoriety of Wanda realizing what she had done was wrong. Like she had fucked up. There was a realization there, but afterwards there didn't really feel like, yeah, she didn't apologize, but at the same time it's like, no, she was aware what she did was wrong. She was was aware that she was at fault.
Oh, how bad compared to the others who may have lost family. I mean, okay. Or them dying as they weren't eating or sleeping. They were. Weren't they?
I mean, how do we know any of the people died? Background.
How can we confirm that they weren't eating or sleeping? I thought, weren't they just living their lives about as if they're like in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, or whatever they are at that point? When Vision saw them on the outskirts, they just stood there. So they're frozen in time then.
Yeah, because that's what I kind of gathered. It didn't really seem like anyone was. Yeah, I think that's just I mean, to be fair, that's an obvious thing to probably say. That's probably what was happening, but to be fair, I don't think they would ever go into too much detail about that after. To be honest,
I'll be honest. Yeah.
Hard to say.
Honestly said, WandaVision I think wasn't the perfect show. I definitely don't think it's good as most people make it out to be. But I still think it's a really good show. Anyway, I didn't like WandaVision mostly for the cameo. For me, it lost a lot of points because of it as well.
For me, that didn't bother me as much because it was also an X-Men from the X-Men universe I'm not a big fan of, so I didn't really care.
No, but I like that particular character in the X-Men universe.
I do, but I don't like that particular universe, so I didn't care.
Fair enough. I don't know.
I mean, you can care. I didn't, because
anyway.
fair, I mean, as talking about that, I guess now let's talk about Falcon Winter Soldier, because as we both discussed it, you preferred it ultimately to WandaVision. Yeah. I prefer WandaVision, to be honest, but that's because I preferred the style, I guess. I still think both shows are good in their own right.
Yeah. We don't raise the dead, and then the brother who didn't die from another universe turned up. Yeah, he got plucked from another universe. He wasn't raised from the dead. But no, it wasn't a hint of the multiverse. This is, I'll be honest, this is what kind of pissed me off. And when we talk about Loki, that's definitely a point that I'm going to bring up. But like, yeah, I kind of hoped for that as well. Like, we talked about this while the show was going on. I kind of thought to myself as well, like, oh, Quicksilver is here, but it's the wrong one. Oh shit, the multiverse is opening. And then at the end, it's like, nope, he's an actor that just happens to really look like him. Like, really, very, like, have the same fucking hair color and everything. And, you know. I don't know.
I mean, in the end, it's like it's not like this is just a coincidence because he just happens to look like him. It's like, no, it was Agatha playing mind tricks in the end. That's what it was.
But he still happened to look like him.
I know, but last thing is like, I don't know why, but when that happened, I very much got the sense it's like, oh, they've gotten an actor to play that character who already played that character. That's kind of funny. But I never got the sense, for some reason, I had a spidey sense tingle, which was like, oh, this doesn't feel like a direct call out to the multiverse.
Okay, let me ask you this then. If it wasn't meant to be a call out to a multiverse, but just had to be someone who happened to kind of look like someone that we knew was, then why didn't they just get any other random person to do it?
That's fair. But once again, I'll say this. As I said, it was a spidey sense. This is just me going, I just had a gut feeling that's what it was. But I wasn't sure. So when it was revealed, like, oh, he's not from the multiverse, I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So I took it a lot better than you did when the reveal happened, because I kind of expected
it. So, because one of the things that... Because Jason is kind of understating it, if I can be honest. Not only did they make it to be a random person that happened to live in that town, that just happened to look like the Quicksilver that we thought might integrate into this universe, his name was a boner joke. And it wasn't a fake, like, I thought at first, like, okay, well, this could still work, because that could clearly be a fake ID, because that's Quicksilver's kind of sense of humor. It isn't. It is a boner joke written by the writer because he thought it would be funny. Ralph Boner.
I mean, for me, it's funny because of your reaction. I'll be honest, but that's it.
Yeah, but like,
It wasn't a funny joke, but I just find it amusing because of the way you're reacting. That's solely it.
No, because it's like, it's like, you know, if someone like creates this really cool situation with a company called Bofa, and it's like this really cool like villain company, and then at the end it turns out like, oh, it was a fake company. Oh, both of these nuts. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Funny. It's like, no, you're making a fool out of everyone who thought this was cool. That's what I feel about it. But anyway, let's not dwell on things that, you know, that are far gone, heavily discussed. Let's talk about Loki real quick.
Yeah, so going back to Loki.
Jason had said previously. Oh, no, we're still talking about it. Particularly since MCU is built on a shared universe, it's built on cameos and references. I agree. It very much is. So earlier, he said, I liked Loki. It was a compressed version of Loki's growth over the films.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. That's something that I felt was kind of okay. I mean, it's clear that they wanted to kind of like push that in there, where it's like determinism and everything, and that's fine. There's just key points in the continuity that I found a little bit bothering.
Do you feel safe with more not because it's possible spoilers?
Well, I can see that only Jason's still in this chat, so I think we can safely talk about this. So if you're watching this back from the future, then this is where spoilers begin. So the first part that bothered me was like 3 TVA agents show up, and he keep like, it isn't character for him to just go like, I am a god. They knock him out with the greatest ease. Right? They like, I'll be honest, I know they're an inter like interchronic fucking force. They've probably fought people way more powerful than him like 1,000 times over. But Loki's better than that, and I think he should have put up at least a little bit more of a fight. Like, have a fight for maybe like 10-15 seconds, and then have him struck down.
You say that, but this is also the Loki from 2012 who was smashed around by the Hulk with ease.
I understand that.
And yes, I'll also admit this. I can see the point that you're probably about to make. It's like, oh, but that's Hulk versus 3 TVA agents, who's probably stronger and so on. But it's like, this is probably Loki at the height of his arrogance.
Yes, but
like when he generally was the most arrogant.
I disagree. I disagree. He was just humbled. And the time thing is pretty damn effective. It is, but you gotta strike him first. And it bothers me that they hit him that quickly. I would like to see at least a little bit more of a fight. You know? Was that coming? I mean, he could have, a little bit. Because, literally, you just escaped the Avengers. You're not going to be on high alert? After they just humbled you? Because you were so close to taking over an entire city and you failed? Like, I know he's arrogant, but he's also quite old. Not old as those beings, obviously, but still, like... No, he's arrogant. Okay, well, fine.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I think you're giving Loki a bit too much credit. I can understand giving him a lot of credit, but you have to remember, it's like, first and foremost, there are a few things to play factor. Not just his arrogance. He's never encountered these people before. He doesn't know what to expect. He's just seen 3 humans appear, and for all he knows, it's like, oh, you're humans wearing body armor. You look like S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. You're probably no better than S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. All of a sudden, it's like, oh no, these guys aren't S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
Even though they just, yeah, okay. He didn't even pick up the test truck. Yeah, what's he gonna do? Fucking travel away?
Fair. Like, how close by was it to him? Because he did the whole stand up and rant at the whole Mongolian people, so they appeared. He's like, huh? And they pretty much went straight for the Tesseract.
Yeah.
The TV. Like they went.
Now another thing that bothers me, again, just kind of the again a couple of things. One of the things was that so he's charged for a time crime, right? Damn Infinity Stone. Why would you not just pick it up?
That is, I'll give.
That's fair.
That's a very fair point. It is a very.
He
fair
could have
point.
done that.
You should always keep that all times, especially considering the space stone. In other words, the get out of jail free card stone. Anytime you want.
Yeah, no, I can admit to that. Yeah, he was clearly arrogant. Then
yeah,
that's fair. But so basically, he was accused of a time crime, right? And so he went to like court and everything.
Yeah.
And in the court, he, in my opinion, correctly said, okay, well, the Avengers came and messed with the timeline. Don't know how he noticed that, but okay, let's say that he did. They messed with the timeline. I just picked it up. And then she said, oh no, but that was supposed to happen. No, it wasn't. Because if it was supposed to happen, then Endgame would have gone very differently. Right? Because so basically, if the Avengers were supposed to come back to 2012 and get the Tesseract, and then get beaten, and the Tesseract just kind of falls there, and Loki didn't pick it up, but they picked it up instead, and they were like, "Okay, we're good. We can go off now." Then Endgame would have been a very different film. The real person who committed the time crime potentially would be Hulk, because he opened the door to smash Tony. While he had it, so why isn't Hulk accused of time crime? Right.
Yeah.
So Loki is. Yeah.
I think that's a bit fair, because I think when they go, oh, that was supposed to be, it's like, and what, you didn't think Loki, who wanted to not go to prison, wouldn't just pick up the Tesseract, felt him? Like, you wouldn't think that would just happen?
Also,
well, what did you expect to happen?
It had to happen because Doctor Strange saw it. Doctor Strange saw 14 million other options, which means that, like you said, the whole sacred timeline bull. There were 14 timelines, and this one may be the prime one, the one that where everything happens. But you can't have a film about time travel and fucking the timelines up in a way, and then have this directly afterwards.
I'm very much getting the sense that this is very much being put there as an actual point out to the floor of the TVA. Like, I very much get the sense that this is to point out that the TVA actually aren't as capable as they think themselves. Like, no, they are pretty much fucking up just as
well, clearly.
Because, like, the fact that they're dealing with another version of Loki who's just completely fucking their shit up, like, with ease.
Yeah.
Pretty much means that it's like, nah, like, the TVA
are filled with bull. Yes, they are.
And that's the thing as well, like, the thing is that with me is, like, they're very bureaucratic, and bureaucrats aren't always, like, good at sorting shit out when shit goes wrong. Weirdly.
Oh no, they're ironically very bad at it, because someone will fuck up the paperwork somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea is as well, I think, and to be fair, it does make a lot of sense. It's like they're very much a rigid, like, it has to go this way, it can only go this way. But then Loki's the one guy who really kind of go, yeah, but really can't, like, happen the other way. Oh, but the sacred timeline's like, that's not how it works.
He should have just had a very good lawyer in that court. He should have had fucking Matt Murdock at his side, just telling him, like, okay, well, if he committed the time crime, then did it not go for the Avengers as it should have gone? Like, did they not mess up at some point? So how exactly did it go as it went to? And like what happens with it? So, like, that scene didn't hold up. It's arbitrary. Yeah, it is, clearly.
Yeah.
Because the guy in front of Loki by the way, very short line. There was only one other person there, so clearly time crimes don't happen all that often. And the one person in front of him, like, didn't even know what was going on. Didn't even know that he committed time. Miss Minutes said you could make a variant by just going to work. Literally that, yeah exactly. So the only way to interpret this is that they have their own agenda, and rather than, like, basically there's a sacred timeline, but that's not the timeline of how things are supposed to go. It's how things are supposed to go, so that in the end of the timeline, like, everything happens in a particular way so that they get what they want. The TVA are the bad guys. Yes, that's the only way.
Yeah, absolutely, TVA are the bad guys. Because the thing is, this is probably the most interesting aspect of the show. It is a organization completely dedicated to order, and the idea of chaos in any way is a crime to them. But they're now dealing with the god of mischief, and trickery, the most chaotic being arguably in the multiverse, is like, guys,
Yeah.
he's fucking up your shit to prove a point, realistically. This bad variant version who's killing your guys is more doing it just to go, see? You guys aren't full of order.
You think the other
Chaos always wins.
You
There's
think the
always
other Loki
chaos.
is future Loki? I mean, it pretty much has to be at this point.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I heard someone say, "Oh, there's a rumor going around that they think it's a female version of Loki," which
I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see it either, but it wouldn't surprise me if they do it. In all honesty,
I don't think it makes a lot of sense to do that.
it doesn't, but it wouldn't surprise me once again
Yeah.
if it happened.
So the other thing that bothered me, which again, because it's canon, I'm sure it is. A lot of things are canon, and a lot of things that are canon I don't particularly like. As much as Thor being a frog, no, that was funny. I enjoyed that. I didn't mind that at all. Yeah, so basically, because we already talked about TVA being as they are, like this point is kind of a non-point now, but like the way that they kind of went on about this timeline is basically just saying like there is no multiverse, but it's like yes, there is, because there was a film before that explained the entire machinations of the multiverse and its way of fueling the magic of sorcerers, and also there's going to be a film next year that is literally called The Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So, but obviously this is a non-point because we already said like the TVA are clearly the bad guys who are like, you know, no single timeline multiverses. Yeah. So again, like the TVA are clearly the bad guys because they said that there is no multiple multiverses. So they are literally like hell bent on like creating like having the universe go as they want it to go.
Yeah, exactly. They're hell bent on that. So I very much get the sense that the way the series will play out is when Loki eventually meets his future self, there's very much going to be a point where the future Loki's going, look, I'm trying to put things to right here. I'm trying to set things in order. These guys are fucking it up, and you can help me stop them by fucking their shit up on the inside.
Jason says, well, they said there was a multiversal war, which I think it will be the finale. Wouldn't it be cool if it's not the finale, but it's like a direct setup for Multiverse of Madness? And that's like the premise for it.
I very much get the sense that I think this is going to help set up the Multiverse of Madness.
Because Tom Hiddleston hasn't been announced for the cast of Multiverse of Madness, but let's be honest, like it would be bad not to use him almost, because he fits so well into the whole story now.
He does, and I think variant Loki would be really interesting to work with Doctor Strange, I think, in that regard.
Oh yeah.
Actually work together. I think that'll be interesting. I'm not sure if they'll do it, but I really hope they.
Yeah, it'd be funny to see Doctor Strange like meet Loki and just go like, you again. As I will point out, in the comics, Loki has been the Sorcerer Supreme. Interesting. Interesting.
It probably means then this may very well directly tie into Multiverse of Madness. This very well may be the thing that pushes it now.
Maybe it is an alternative version of Loki, like not even a future version, but like the Sorcerer Supreme version of Loki. It was like, I got the time stone. I'm gonna do some freaky shit.
Just going full Star-Lord then. I'm gonna make up some weird shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good, by the way, as well, that they showed the Infinity Stones like being useless.
Yeah, that was actually, I think that was probably one of the best parts of that episode. The fact that they made a reference like these things that, because that would have been such a great thing honestly to follow Endgame with, just to jump straight into this and reveal, hey, these Infinity Stones, we spent the last few movies showing you how important they are. Yeah, turns out they may not be the most powerful thing in the multiverse. There may be things even more powerful than them.
Oh no, so that's not even the point. So basically, in the comics as well, and I'm sure Jason can attest to this, the Infinity Gems are the strongest things in the universe that they reside in.
Yeah.
When you take an Infinity Gem outside of its original universe and put it in a new one, so let's say like in the 616 universe, you take the Infinity Gems and you go to the Ultimate Universe, those stones are literally stones. They're useless.
But as Jason just pointed out, in that universe, and the thing I pointed out was they're not the most powerful thing in the multiverse. Meaning there are aspects and powers at work that are even more powerful than them. Because like, oh, to be the most powerful thing in the universe is important. It's like, yeah, that's impressive. But for something to be so powerful that across the entire multiverse it's the most powerful thing, it may be weaker than the Infinity Stones in a universe, but it will still work in every other universe, which is the point.
Are you guys interested in Eternals? Not really.
Nah, it hasn't grasped me. In all honesty,
I'll be honest.
I'll
I don't know the source material very well. The trailers actually looked bad. Again, that's my opinion, but it did look bad. You're curious. In the comics, Thanos was the antagonist. Yes, but he's dead now. And I think it's ironic, especially now that you've said that they only come out once Thanos is actually dead.
Yeah, because I looked it up and I talked to Ron about it. As it turns out, Thanos was an Eternal, or at least he was one of the, what were they called?
Yeah, he was a deviant.
He was a deviant. Yeah, I'm like, wow.
He sure was.
So these guys who probably helped create Thanos did not show up to help stop him at all.
No.
To be fair, very much what I'm going to get the sense of is that Thanos probably won't be related into this universe. They may change that part of the canon. Which I think ultimately that's the only move they can make to justify why they didn't help them stop Thanos.
I mean, they haven't even revealed who the antagonist is meant to be.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I think for a lot of people, like people who haven't seen the comics, so who haven't read the comics even, I think the main pull for this film, there's two really. If you are of that variety, is the cast list, which I will admit is impressive, but it's not enough for me to actually like.
It's impressive, but it's not as mind blowing. I think as some people are blowing out of proportion.
People did feel about Guardians of the Galaxy before it came out, yes, but I will say, the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy is a trailer that I was able to watch over and over and over again and still enjoy it fully. Yeah. And then when like to this day, it is still probably if not one of my favorite films of all time, because it was just done so well. Also, in defense of this film, I guess, but also not really. I've never seen a film made by James Gunn before I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, so that was literally my first one. Whereas that's the second thing about this film. The director of The Eternals, I think it was Chloe Zhao, has made several films before, mostly independent films, but one of them was the one that won this year's Academy Award for Best Picture and several other awards as well. When it came out on Disney Plus, I did watch it and I wasn't really impressed. I don't know if it's because of the subject matter of the film or the style of the director, but it didn't do much for me at all. So I have several reasons not to. Obviously, like being the people that we are going to watch it. There's no two ways about it. We are going to watch it because, it's MCU stuff. There's an obligation. But I'm not hugely excited, and I'm kind of hoping that I hope that I get proven wrong. Basically.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they're able to. What they'll do with it, but at the same time, I'm not that excited for it. I'm interested to see what they do, but I'm not excited for it. If that makes sense.
I feel it's a big mystery. Yeah, but then again, like if it is a mystery, then fair, and all the power to them. I feel so they can only go up at this. But yeah, but again, if they want to be mysterious about it, sure, but don't expect me to have any sort of reason to be excited for it.
Yeah, because I feel the issue is with going with the mystery aspect is that they'll do a bunch of trailers that reveal the characters and a little bit more about them, but they can't go into too much else beyond that. So, for example, if the villain turns out like, hey, it's Galactus, it'll be a great thing to see in the film, like, holy shit, fucking Galactus is the bad guy. But it's like, you didn't use any of it for the marketing. Which meant,
also, I really hope
it's going to flop pretty badly because no one knows that Galactus is in the fucking film.
Also, just to put it out there, I really hope they don't put Galactus in that film.
Oh no, he won't be. That was just an example.
I feel like Galactus can only be revealed as a villain in
Avengers or whatever, man.
Fantastic Four. They won't use Galactus
Fantastic.
without Fantastic Four. Yeah, exactly. Like it's the only way in my opinion, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Once again, that was just an example of using a
Oh,
big
but yeah,
name.
I know, but like now that you've said it, like my mind's going there, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Jesus Christ, fine then. Thanos 2. I don't care.
Thanos
Either
2.
way.
I am his son, Thanos Jr.
Fair,
Who is
what's
my
the
mother?
name-
Don't worry about it.
What is the name of Thanos' son in the comics? Thrain?
Something like that. Something like that.
Hmm.
But he didn't side with Thanos anyway. I don't think he was a bad guy. So
Yeah.
Nebula, does she identify as such? I don't want to tread that water.
Nah, what as a Nebula being in the Eternals? No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that.
No,
They'll
as
keep
in being the son of Thanos.
No, she is like she's obviously like. I guess she is Thanos'.
I think she was Blood Daughter in the comics, wasn't she?
I think so, but it's hard to tell with the actual film. I think she.
I don't think she was in the film,
No, I don't think she was in the film.
or maybe she. I don't know. To be honest with you, I can't tell. She was okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
To be fair, is he answering because of the whole latency? Is he answering the question of issues in the comics, or is?
We'll find out. In the comics, not the MCU. Gotcha. There you go.
There you go. There we go.
There's your answer.
Yep. Which is what I kind of thought. To be fair.
She's adopted like Gamora. Okay, there.
Yeah.
The latency isn't even that bad. It's like 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Anyway. I think there's much else to talk about now.
Yeah.
Sam.
I like Bad Batch. I like Rex. Sandman, it's close to 15. What?
Sandman show, I think he's talking about, because they're doing a Sandman show now.
Why? Sandman, as in, close
The
to
DC.
15 seconds. Okay.
Ah.
On my end, it's like 4 seconds.
It might
Maybe
vary.
you can refresh. Sandman, as in. Wait, no, hang on. Is this Neil Gaiman's Sandman, or is this? Okay, so it's not.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it yet.
It's not Spider-Man Sandman. Sandman show on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet. No.
I haven't seen it yet.
Is there sound in it? Neil Gaiman's.
Proud of yourself for that joke?
What?
Are you proud of yourself for that joke, Ron?
No, I'm just reading comment. I'm reading the comment. There's no joke.
What comment?
There's a comment. Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, but you said, "Is there sand in it?"
Oh. Yeah, that is a real joke. But also, it's called Sandman. You know, I'm
I
expecting
hate
some
Sandman.
sand.
I hate Sandman.
He's coarse and
wrong.
irritating.
It gets everywhere. That's a joke, Ron.
Cock, okay. It's in a bag. It's in a bag. Okay, well, there you go. There is sand. Thank you. Sprinkling it in people's fucking eyes, I bet. I'll probably watch it.
I'll give it a watch at some point. Yeah.
I'll be honest. The only Gaiman product that I've watched was the first season of American Gods, and I wasn't really impressed. To the point where I just wasn't bothered to watch the second season.
A little I've seen of American Gods hasn't grabbed me.
I've heard Good Omens is good.
Good Omens. I still need to watch that.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Okay.
They're making a Netflix film with Jean-Claude Van Damme. The Last Mercenary.
That's great. I'm going to warn you right now. I probably need to wrap it up relatively soon because my iPad's at 8%. For some reason, it's not charging it. 8%, yeah. It's not like going down super quick, but it's been going down now.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, well, let me think. What else is there really to talk about? I mean,
we've really covered pretty much all of it.
Yeah. I mean, we need to cover this especially because
on the Twitch stream now, because for me on Discord it's covered.
Yeah, yeah, there's nothing really interesting happening in that regard. Hang on, let me do this, and then that, and then a little bit of. There we go. Just casually scrolling up, and then actually it's this one. There we go. No problem here. Just fixing this. Oh, there we go. It's all good. Ah,
Yeah.
chat's gone. Fuck.
What's
Problem
gone?
solved. Chat's gone. It's back.
Oh.
It's back, baby.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I can tell you now. There's really nothing interesting happening in that stream. That was probably one of the worst E3 announcements.
Yeah.
Of the last couple of days, because they're literally announcing anything you don't care about.
The Nintendo stuff is never really going to steal the show at E3. Never. There's a reason why it's never on the first or final day of E3.
Yeah. You know, it's annoying because everyone was like expecting them to announce like the Switch Pro, but like nothing came of it.
No. But yeah. I guess finally, last thing to talk about before we finish things off finally is Bad Batch. Going good so far, going strong.
Loving it. I enjoyed it.
They were able to help Wrecker in the end, which was good.
Yeah, I'm very happy for Wrecker, and also I very much you know, Bad Batch is great. Jason is one of the good guys.
Man with great.
But I want Rebels to come back. Okay, I mean, I'll be honest. I kind of want them to do Rebels, but like with the quality of Clone Wars. You know, like Bad Batch is doing. Because like Rebels was, for the most part, it was good. There were a couple of amazing points as well. But at times, like the animation, like the way that things were done, like it felt a little bit off-putting, just because it felt like it wasn't finished. Like some of the animations felt like a rush job to me.
Never really got that sense when I was watching it, but
yeah, I don't know. To be fair, I watched it quite recently.
That's
so
true.
Yeah. But Bad Batch is like my favorite season of the Clone Wars so far. So you know. In season 1, yeah. No, even in season 4, like I don't know how to explain, but like some of the textures just kind of felt off. But some of the stories in Rebels were really, really well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bad Batch has the best animation. Absolutely.
Yeah, without question. Like they've really gone all in with Bad Batch at the moment, and I think ultimately it's just going to get better and better from as the show goes on.
And I love, but you know, I love as well that in Bad Batch they keep making like they did with Rebels, I suppose, but like they keep making like all these references to other Star Wars things, predominantly Clone Wars, obviously.
Yeah, but no, it was good for them to have the reference to the Mandalorian with introducing whatchamacface.
Yeah, Fennec.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Obviously in the last episode they had Rex. In the one before, I'm happy to see the Martinez sisters. Yeah,
no,
that was quite fun.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was the second to last episode.
And Grand Moff Tarkin was in pretty much the very first episode as well.
Yep.
But not as Grand Moff Tarkin. He was as something else at the start.
Admiral Tarkin.
Yeah, Admiral Tarkin.
Is there an echo in here? I don't know. Is there? Shouldn't be. Do you mean the character or like physically in our audio? I don't know. No, from the episode. No. Echo is in every episode.
Yeah, Echo's the one of the members of the Bad Batch.
Yeah. We need a diversion.
Ten out of 10 for the reference.
That was great, actually. Yeah. Man,
what?
Echo has the best squads. Can I just say?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of. So I imagine the next episode will have Crosshair in it. because they've done now like 2 or 3 episodes without Crosshair.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love how they like advertise Crosshair so heavily, and then he's not in it for the most part.
Yeah, so I imagine he's going to be in it for the next part. He has to be because
Yeah.
like they've done so much now without him.
Oh, by the way, of course they had Kanan as well.
Oh yeah, Kanan. Yep.
Was in the first episode.
Do you think Ahsoka will make an appearance in this series?
No.
Yeah.
Because I think Dave Filoni as well knows that he's kind of using her at every given opportunity, and it's getting a bit much at some point. So I'd rather just not have her appear. Do you think Crosshairs will live or die at the end? That's a question.
Ooh.
I think he will live.
I think he will as well. Now here's the question: what about what do we think is the case with Omega? Because obviously she's just not a normal clone.
Yeah.
Obviously she's a girl, but there has to be more to it. And I think most people's innate guess is that she's Force sensitive.
I'm gonna run with that.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
I think she's a clone of a Jedi clone. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was what I was about to say.
I think that's pretty much everyone's given conclusion up to this point.
Yeah, because I remember like precursor of Snoke. Whoa, that's true. There's theories that Snoke is a Jedi clone.
Yeah, and if that's the route they go with, that actually might somewhat redeem a bit of Snoke. To be fair, might.
But also this might tie into Rise of Skywalker, where they cloned Omega just to see what was possible, so they can start the cloning process for Palpatine.
Because yeah, to be fair, they that's what they've been doing as well. I feel with Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian. So I feel like that will be another tie-in. I feel a little bit. So that's very interesting. That's
yeah.
very theory now.
To be fair, Grogu isn't necessarily a clone.
No, Grogu's not a clone, but they're using his blood to, I think, help stabilize.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I think that's what it was because Grogu's such a powerful Force wielder.
See, I think Baby Yoda was actually Gideon's arrogance.
Yeah. No, that's very true.
Trying to be a Jedi. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if a blood transfusion will actually give you midichlorians.
Ooh. I
don't think it will.
No, I wouldn't. I imagine it would. Because the Force is a living thing.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah. Not much else. I'm trying to think of... I don't imagine Vader will be in Bad Batch either.
I think he might. Do you think
Maybe
Ben Solo
because-
killed Baby Yoda? He could have done.
He could have done, but I hope he didn't. I think Disney will realize that. No, I really don't know. I guess there's a reason why Disney's being very quiet about that question, because I don't think even they know yet. I think they're trying to figure out what they want to go
think
with.
if Vader didn't kill him, then Ben Solo probably didn't either.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Well, Vader was dead by the time Baby Yoda showed up in The Mandalorian.
Yes, but he was 50 years old.
So yeah, obviously Vader didn't kill him.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
If Vader didn't do it, then Ben Solo couldn't have.
Yeah. I don't think he can. Vader is a very even when he just became Vader, was very powerful with the Force.
That's true, but I feel it's more like Vader couldn't kill Baby Yoda. It's more like, no, he didn't because he couldn't find him. There's a difference between couldn't and didn't. Couldn't implies that he physically could not kill him.
So he hid, and then he couldn't be sensed?
I mean, a lot of the Jedi hid and couldn't be sensed.
Because they were hidden that well.
Yeah.
On a different planet. He snuck out.
Baby Yoda had help being hidden. Yeah, because Baby Yoda was in the Jedi Temple when it was sieged. I think they revealed that, and he was snuck out during Order 66.
Fair enough.
So actually, then do you think there's a possibility Grogu might show up in Bad Batch?
That would be... I kind of hope they don't, but it's possible. Kenobi hid Luke under his father's planet under his family's name. That is true. That was fucking sloppy.
I mean, yeah, as much as like, oh, Vader's so much better than Kylo Ren, he's all this and that. It's like, yeah, he
Yeah.
never thought to go to Tatooine to have a look around and maybe Obi-Wan hit there for some reason. Never thought to do that himself. He must have really hated sand that much to think, no, maybe he's there. No, I can't go back. There's too much sand.
Did they ever? I mean,
they're
they're probably gonna go into this in like Obi-Wan's own TV show, but like, did Vader ever stop and think to himself like, my master is still alive? He's out there. I should probably kill him. Because Order 66 and all that.
I mean, I imagine he did look for him for a while, but eventually he probably gave up, thinking he's probably already dead or something. I imagine that was part of it. Vader just moved on.
Also, Jason, you're forgetting something very important, right? On Vader's radar, it's like, they're on Tatooine. Shall we set course? No. What? Why not? There's a Jedi there. There's a lot of sand there.
Literally made that.
It's gonna be stuck in my boot.
Literally made that reference a few minutes ago.
Well, yeah, but we didn't stop to think about this for some reason. It's like, why didn't he just because there's a shitload of sand. Well, it's coarse and it gets everywhere. Yes, it does. That's why he doesn't want to go there.
Yeah, but then you could have sent like a bunch of, fucking Inquisitors to take a look.
They couldn't beat Kenobi.
They didn't need to beat him. I feel that's the thing. Vader wouldn't have gone there to look for him himself because of whatever reason. But he might have thought, I'll send Inquisitors to have a look and see if he's there, but make it very clear that they're not to kill Kenobi, because if Vader would have gone back absolutely killing Kenobi if he knew Kenobi was there.
I mean, in the terms of the Jedi, can't be found if they don't want to be.
I mean, this thing, Jedi actually are pretty good at blending in. They are actually pretty good at blending.
That's true.
Ultimately, I imagine they were probably searching for Obi. I imagine there were certain Jedi that were very much on the radar of the Empire, like, we have to find these individuals. And Obi-Wan and Yoda were probably the top two priorities, being the only two surviving members of the Council, I think, at the time. So I imagine they were very much that they have to be found. They can't be left alive.
There were a couple. I think there was like maybe one or two more, but they were off-world. I think Shaak Ti survived.
That's very much... that changes a lot, I feel, though, to be fair. That changes a lot.
Yeah.
But I feel, even if there were other council members, I feel very much... the Emperor would place Obi-Wan and Yoda as top two priority, because Yoda's the strongest one, and Obi-Wan was Vader's master. So there's that emotional connection and threat. So I very much imagined that they were the top two, but the Emperor was like, no, they have to be found first.
Shaak Ti, wasn't she killed in Felucia? I think that was Alia Secura.
Yeah, that was Alia Secura.
Yeah. Shaak Ti, I think, survived.
I think there are different canon versions with Shaak Ti. Some, the version she dies in the Jedi Temple. Some versions she escapes. Some versions she's never there. But yeah, there's lots of different alterations. I think in the Revenge of the Sith book, she was supposed to have died at the Jedi Temple.
I thought Kuta was killed on film.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously there weren't many of them. There was her and Ahsoka, and that's the only two in existence. So it may have been her. I'm not entirely sure. But like, for instance, like I think in The Force Unleashed, I think it turned out that she was alive, something like that.
Yeah, but that's very much not canon.
No, it is. So that's
very much not canon.
Yeah. No. Indeed not.
The council members that died in Revenge of the Sith, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Mace Windu, Plo Koon. Those are the only three, I think, that died on camera. No, sorry, and was Asila Akura...
Sakura was I think killed.
Yeah, but was she on the council?
She may have been a knight. I don't think she was on the council, actually.
No, she wasn't on the council. She wasn't on the council,
Mace Windu allegedly survived?
They would have done something.
Again, it's not... Well, I think they're just keeping it fresh.
Keeping it fresh for how long?
Until Samuel L. Jackson needs another paycheck.
He would come back in a heartbeat to do anything.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
He would not.
Sam Jackson really wants in. Okay, well, why aren't we writing this stuff?
We could.
You know, I'm sorry. If Darth Maul can survive a fall like that, and I know that he was revived through like fucking Force, like voodoo magic, but like Mace Windu could certainly survive a fall like that. He could have.
Maybe.
He's resilient.
Yeah.
He was revived by fan power.
That's true.
That is also true, yeah.
That's very true. So is it officially confirmed that he survived, or is it more that's just fan speculation?
I think there may have been like a comic book line of Mace Windu being alive.
Yeah, but that prequel to like Revenge of the Sith. That could have been a prequel to Revenge
No, it would
of the
have
Sith.
been no, it would have been a sequel.
Really?
Because he wouldn't be thrown out the window before Revenge of the Sith. No, it was mentioned in a fan film. Then never mind. I'm talking shit then.
Yeah, it was in a fan film. That's the thing I never saw.
Hang on.
Did Mace Windu survive? That's what I'm googling right now.
It's a top hit. Mace Windu is 100% alive.
According to. Sorry, but when you start off Mace Windu is 100% alive, I very much just believe that's fan speculation rather than. Because then literally right under that with Screen Rant, did Mace Windu die in Revenge of Mace Windu, how can he return?
Yeah, but then it says there's a high chance, like George Lucas thinks there's a high chance of Mace Windu having survived. And it's like, okay, well, if George Lucas thinks this, then Disney doesn't particularly care. I think the fan film is Shadows of the Past or something. It's done by a pretty big star. Oh wait, is this the Darth Vader fan film?
It's the Darth Vader one. It's actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
It's good, but I don't particularly like his channel.
Which one is this again? Sorry, which
I think it's Star Wars Theory.
Oh yeah, Star Wars. I have a lot of mixed feelings about Star Wars Theory because there's a lot of stuff where he talks, and I think he's a bit arrogant. He is very arrogant. Because
is the second episode out? Because I think there's like a year between each episode or something like that.
Yeah, the second episode is out, and it ends with Mace Windu at the very end.
Okay.
So Mace Windu is like at the end of it, and then they release like a teaser for Mace Windu in like not too long ago for the next for the third episode. But yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think his fan film is quite cool. I think it's pretty good in terms of like production and everything that goes with it. In terms of story, it seems to be going somewhere, which is always nice in a fan film because most of them simply don't.
Yep.
But I do feel like he kind of wears it as a badge of honor when he like starts a conversation. He's like, well, I did a lot of research for my film, and that's why I can speculate this and this and that. And it's like, okay, but you're making these rather baseless speculations.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like theory channels all that much.
Yeah. Because like he used to do the whole what if thing, which was like basically take the Star Wars stuff and said, oh, what if this happened, which I liked.
Yeah, no, that was good.
There was like a whole confrontation between him and when he was like crying with the whole Luke Skywalker thing in The Mandalorian. And then someone from Lucasfilm said something and basically they had a spat, and I thought the whole I didn't agree with what the guy at Lucasfilm did, but I just thought Star Wars Theory was still a bit childish. He strikes me as he very much strikes me as the diehard Star Wars fanboy that if he doesn't get his way, he's not going to be happy kind of fanboy. Yeah. I've always got that sense from him.
Some fan films are awesome. Look up Bosk's Scorekeeper. To be honest, if the costume design for Bosk is really good, then I'm already down. Because Bosk is a fucking great character, I think.
I think as we've discussed, some of the fan films are good, but most often are not. They're pretty bad. They're very much just saber duels that you very kind of feel that all they care about with Star Wars is the lightsaber duel.
Because I think we made a video about this maybe 2 years ago. Yeah. And basically, like, I remember we made a video where we basically reviewed a couple of fan films that we thought were good. And like there are a couple of fan films out there for honestly any IP that are really good, but I feel like the majority of them are basically made with the idea of like, oh, I'll just make something relating this to this particular content because I know that people like that. Not necessarily for the quality of my film, but because it relates to this particular IP. And I think Star Wars suffers for this quite a lot
Yeah.
because I think people find it easy to like they think it is easy to make a fan film.
Yeah, and it's really not. But yeah, I think yeah.
Like there was one a while ago that was doing the rounds on the recommend. The majority of them are mediocre at best, but the volume means statistically that there are some really good ones. Midly finding them is hard. That is true. But like even then, like there's a lot of them that get a lot of praise that I, for instance, don't really get. Like, do you know the one? I think it's called Star Wars: A New Hope, SC-38 reimagined. And so basically, someone made like a fan like 3D animation of Obi-Wan and Vader fighting in A New Hope. I'll be honest, I think the concept of it and like their skill of making it was very good. I didn't like it because emotionally it changed the scene too much.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was completely redundant.
Yeah.
Like it didn't change for me it didn't change the way that I regarded the original scene. I still think the original scene was great as it was, especially for its time. And the main thing that I kind of took away from it was people trying to use CGI to blow new life into into an older scene that really didn't require it. Only from Luke's point of view, yes, you did only get to see that fight from Luke's point of view for the most part. That is true. But I didn't think watching the fight really from Ben and Anakin's point of view, it's the culmination. See, I have a problem with that. It never like that scene never felt to me like it was or ever had to be. Because obviously this is a comment that I can make now in 2021, several years after, Revenge of the Sith came out. That fight at the end of Revenge of the Sith, that felt like the culmination for me. Because up until that point, we've always, well, for the most part, we've mostly seen Obi-Wan and Anakin together, like, um, going from acquaintances to master and apprentice, or Padawan rather, apprentice is a bit dark sidey, to becoming brothers eventually. And then they have to fight each other because they're suddenly on completely opposite ends of the story. Obi-Wan goes into hiding, changes his name, and Vader goes into, the whole thing that he does. They're away from each other for 20 odd years or something like that. I think Luke was like a teenager, like 16, 17 or something like that in the film. So for 17 years they don't see each other. They don't even make each other or give each other any hint to think that the other exists, except for Obi-Wan, being on the ground. He knows that obviously like Vader's leading the Empire to some extent. Then they meet each other for the first time after 17 years, and they have that fight. That doesn't feel like a culmination to me. That feels like a reacquaintance pretty much, and it's like, okay, well, we have to do this. It's similar to in Rebels, if we're talking about that as well, the culmination of Maul fighting Obi-Wan, and then that fight lasted for about 5 seconds. That also didn't really feel like a culmination to me. That just felt like an inevitability that just kind of was there if Maul were to go find
Obi-Wan.
Or find Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And similarly, like Obi-Wan went into the fight with Vader knowing full well that he would lose, so he wouldn't use all of his power. And it never felt like that to me. So I think that scene kind of tried to go on.
It's not even that he went in knowing to it that he would lose. He went into it thinking that him winning or losing this fight doesn't matter now because it's no longer his fight.
Yeah.
Fight is done.
But what I mean is that Vader hyped up the fight. At last we meet again, but Obi-Wan didn't see it that way. It's Obi-Wan showing he still has something to teach him. It shows Vader there's still more to learn about the Force. yes, but then now it's just being kind of retractive about it in a way. It's like, because they said they went from essentially acquaintances to oh, Tommy's complaining about the stream for too long. It went from
Not
being
complaining.
essentially being essentially acquaintances to Master and Padawan, two brothers, to essentially equals. Like, obviously, like, yes, Obi-Wan was still far more experienced and was still teaching Anakin about things. And it's more entertaining than the original fight. Sure, but the fact that it was made to be more entertaining than more emotionally valuable to me, that kind of took it away from me. Like, I like entertainment, but for this I just didn't feel like it worked at all. It just didn't do it for me, and it just felt like it felt more like a skill showcase than an actual work of narrative. That's my problem with it. It's not to say that it isn't good from a skill point of view, because there a lot of hours went into it, and you can tell. And it was impressive from that regard because they were essentially able to make a whole scene from some archive footage, and then had to make up the rest of it. That is still really impressive. But when I watch short films, I'm there for the story more than anything, and if there's not really much of a story going on in that regard, then I feel like I've not really gained anything from watching it. That's my personal point of view. Yeah, there's the other short films as well that I can lively criticize. But ultimately, like, the one thing that will always be sure is that I don't currently have the means to put my money put my money where my mouth is. Um, Nor would I. I think I don't know if I were very like. I think it would. We've talked about this as well. I think it would take a lot for me to like consider making a Star Wars fan film.
That's the thing, because I've talked about wanting to make a Star Wars short film, but I've never called it a fan film. I've always wanted to go into the idea of making it as an actual filmmaker rather than a fan.
Right.
Which I think is important to make that detachment. Because I think with some of the fan films and some of the talks I've seen from them, is very much they discussed that they made it because they're a fan of the series, and I would want to make one because I am a fan, but because I also came up with a story that I think is really interesting to tell. That's the primary thing I would want to push. Yeah. I know that sounds quite arrogant, which, fair enough, but that's just my view on it, 2 cents wise. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool. Well, I'm stuff.
Nah? You were gonna say?
No, really. I was gonna make a very bad joke.
Fair enough. I guess what, 9:15? Streaming for about 2 hours now. This is probably a good time to start looking to wrap it up now. So,
yeah, absolutely. So,
anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Jason, for
sticking around for this long.
Very good having you around.
Thanks, Tammy, for having been around. Thanks, Ross and Ellie.
Stopping in. Thank you, Ellie, for stopping in as well.
Yep.
And hopefully next, no, you're leaving week after next.
Yeah, so next week we can probably, schedule allowing, we'll still look into like how we do the episode, either pre-recorded or live. I'll be honest, as always, like, live is way better.
Ah, goddamn, this still haven't given me my goddamn schedule.
Oh, it's only Tuesday.
I keep thinking it's Wednesday for some reason.
I don't know why. It was fun. Awesome. We enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
It's so much. I'll be honest, like, because we've been pre-recording for the last couple of weeks, just because it kind of worked out that way. It's so much better when people are like feeding from chat as well.
Yeah, it's a better interaction.
Yeah, and it makes it feel like, because like, it's not like I don't like you, but it's nice to hear from other people sometimes.
No, I agree.
And I think you see it the same way about me as well.
I don't like you. Yeah, I don't.
Okay. So
Obviously-
we're disbanding.
That was a joke.
Uh,
I
but
think
yeah,
as
so
obviously, as we've discussed, we've also considered the idea of jumping to Twitch at some point because
yeah, but
So-
realistically, we can't do that realistically right now, just for this for the amount of pre-recording that we do.
yeah,
So because on Twitch you basically have to be live.
yeah,
So it wouldn't really work. But
Yeah.
then we're still thinking of like because I'm obviously going away for 2 weeks at some point. When we come back, we can definitely look into when I come back rather. We can
Yep.
definitely look into shifting the schedule so
Yeah.
it fits for both of us.
Yep.
And then it can be live all the time, and then we can move to Twitch because Twitch is a far better platform for live streaming. In that, for example, what you can do on Twitch that I found out the other day and didn't really think about, you can host other channels, which essentially means that on your channel, you're streaming someone else's channel that is currently live, and so that feeds viewers from your channel to that one as well. So that means that if we were streaming live on Twitch, then I could go on my channel, host Dawn of Discussion, and then if a follower of mine sees, oh, he's online. Oh no, he's hosting. What is he hosting? Oh, let's see. He's still on the screen. There's this
Okay.
other guy. It says Dawn of Discussion. What is this? So we can probably like it's easier to funnel traffic towards the channel.
Yep.
Also the Twitch community is just a little bit more present and a little bit,
Yeah.
more vivid. But we'll see about that. For now, obviously, thank you guys for sticking around. And next week we'll try to do something, pre-recorded or otherwise. But we'll be there.
Yeah. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking around. Good discussion as always.
Absolutely.
Should've ended like that.
Good dons as well.
No. No. But anyway, have a good night, guys.
Good night.